What's going on, you guys, and welcome back to my channel. In this video, I'm going to be discussing the top 5 tips that you should know as a seller if you want to get your property sold for the best price possible. If you're new to my channel, last week I actually did a similar video to this one, but instead it was tailored towards buyers. So if you want to take a look at that, I'll link it down in the description below. And for all of you who are new to my channel, my name is Luis Perez. I am a local real estate agent here in Miami, Florida. And if you ever need help finding a place or selling your property, renting, whatever it may be, feel free to reach out to me. The information is down in the description box below. So once again, guys, let's get on to the video and I hope you enjoy it. So if you're planning on selling your home here in Miami, Florida, then consider yourself lucky because Miami, Florida is a very popular destination amongst buyers all around the world. Right now, we're actually experiencing an influx of people coming from Los Angeles, New York, and all of Latin America to Miami, Florida. That's part of the reason why the inflation has been, rising. Anyways, step number 1 is to stage your home. If you don't know how to stage your home, that is okay. You could hire a professional to do it. The purpose of this is because since you're going to be taking pictures of the property and uploading it on Zillow, Realtor.com, and the MLS, if you do decide to work with a realtor, you want to make sure to highlight the best features of your property. And the best way to do so is to hire a professional stager, one who has worked with, sellers before, because they have that first-hand experience of, what it takes to, make your property stand out amongst the rest of the competition in the area. The cost for this is going to be in the hundreds, so and I believe it's a worthwhile investment. So you should definitely consider staging your home. The next step I believe is very important, and that is to make sure to highlight your location. Location is a very significant thing. I don't know if you've heard the saying before, but investors always say location, location, location. If you are located close to the beach, close to the highway, close to many restaurants and shopping centers, it is definitely something that you want to make sure to highlight in your description for your property when you do plan on listing it with a real estate agent or on Zillow, whichever you prefer. Why is location important, you may be asking yourself? Well, aside from the reasons that I highlighted in the beginning of this step, there's also other reasons. For example, people that are starting families have different objectives when it comes to buying a home. So for example, maybe they have new kids and they want to go to schools nearby a certain location that has low crime rates or something like that. That is definitely something that will be influenced by the location. Another thing that location has an influence on is the future price appreciation potential. So for example, some areas that are starting to grow have more potential for growth than, let's say, a populated area like West Kendall, where I don't believe that there's going to be much building going on there in the near future. So that is why location is something that you really, really, really need to highlight in your description if you plan to sell your home. The third step is extremely important, and without it, you will not be able to sell your home, and that is you should definitely price your home correctly. So when it comes to pricing a home, it's kind of a tricky thing. It's not as simple as going on Zillow, getting this estimate, and then listing your property up for sale at that price. No, there's actually stuff that goes into this. For example, as a realtor, what we use is a comparables approach. So we look at what's sold in that area. Let's say, for example, in the current market, in the last 3 months. And we also look at plus or minus 20% as far as square footage goes relative to your own property. And then from there, we generate a list of properties. And so we find the ones that match yours as far as, the amount of bedrooms that it has, the amount of bathrooms, whether or not it has a pool. And then from there, we add or subtract. So it's a little process that it goes into it. And we only select properties usually that are a quarter mile away from yours, because once you start extending the distance, you start entering different subdivisions. And so it makes it a lot more trickier to, price it correctly. Usually what I would recommend in a market like the one that we're currently in, where it's shifting towards a buyer's market, is, to price your property really competitively. So for example, if there are 3 properties that are selling in your subdivision, let's say one is selling for 500,000, the other one is selling for 510, and the last one is selling for 520. You definitely want to price yours somewhere in the middle, to wean out the other 2, especially if yours is also competitive as far as the renovations go, if yours has something that the others don't. So these are things that you definitely have to consider if you want to sell your home as efficiently and as fast as possible. The next step, and I believe is extremely important, is that you need to be ready to negotiate. What I mean by that is, for example, you priced your property correctly, you've highlighted the key features of it, and the location is the creme of the creme. The property is amazing. You're definitely going to get a lot of offers. The problem is that a lot of those offers are going to be below ask. And you shouldn't be surprised. This is just the name of the game, and do not take it personally. Do not involve yourself emotionally in this process. The reason being is because that is just real estate. So for example, let's say you listed your property at $600,000 and the first offer that you get came within 3 days after listing at $530,000, and it's subject to financing. So obviously there's going to be an inspection period, and the inspection period is there to protect the buyer. So let's say after the inspection period, the buyers, the inspector finds certain damages. For example, the roof is a little old, it has a leaky roof, the electrical outlet is messed up, whatever it may be, they're going to put it in a little list and they're going to give it to the buyer, and then the buyer is going to use that to negotiate. And in that situation, the buyer is allowed to walk away. So let's say the latter, let's say you receive an offer that's $500,000 cash with no inspections. That means that buyer is willing to buy your property as is. You would have to really consider that offer and what you're going to negotiate. So for example, a counter offer of, let's say 575, 580 would be reasonable in my opinion, and then they would probably increase it a little bit if they're serious about, closing this deal. If they're not that serious, if they say I only want 500, I'm only willing to spend $500,000 to buy this property, then that's something that you really have to talk over with your spouse if you're married or whoever it may be, to see what makes the most financial sense. If you have a realtor in that case, even better, because they're going to be able to handle that and guide you along the process the entire way. So it's something that you don't really have to concern yourself with. And that's what they're there for. The fifth and final step is to make sure to choose and hire the correct realtor. This pretty much can make or break any homeowner's selling process. So for example, you want to choose a realtor that keeps their word. So if they say they're going to do an open house once a week, they do that open house once a week. If they say that they're going to do direct mail and advertise your property to all the neighbors, go door knocking, handing out flyers, hold them accountable to that. Because you don't want to hire someone that says this and that, and then next thing you know, they go on vacation after they get your listing and they're out of town and they don't answer the phone. Why? Because they know that people are going to be showing the property, they have co-listing it, whatever it may be. So you want to make sure to hire someone who's dependable, reliable, and will always pick up the phone for you. And that is really important in this whole entire process, because like I said before, it makes or breaks it. It makes the experience either extremely stressful or it makes the experience extremely pleasurable, because you're not going to be the one that's handling the negotiation. You're not the one that's going to be talking to appraisals. You're not the one that's going to be talking to other real estate agents to try and negotiate prices. So it's a long and hefty, stressful process. But when you hire the right realtor, someone who knows the local market the way that I do. I've been doing this for, sorry, no, I haven't been doing this for 25 years, but I've lived in Miami for over 25 years. So I know this market like the back of my hand pretty much. That is something that you definitely have to take into consideration. And that is it for this video, guys. Like I said before, I truly hope that you enjoyed it. And if you find this video helpful, please make sure to hit the like and subscribe button, as that would help me tremendously to continue to grow my channel in the near future. I plan to post on this channel once a week at a minimum. And I do things from property tours to guides on living in Miami, how to sell your home, how to price it efficiently. So anything related to real estate, this is what this channel is for, and it's here to help you guys. So if you could show some support for me, it would really help me tremendously and keep me motivated to continue to help you guys grow and prosper with your future. So once again, guys, I'll see you next week. Thank you for watching.